everybody! Back with Limbus Company. Hope everybody has been having a good week and enjoyed are enjoying the event so far. Hi Simon, hi Alan, hi Harukito, hi Katie, welcome. We have a air hotfix update. Okay. Everything okay? I'm always careful at looking at these in case spoilers. Air intervalo so far. Ooh. Exciting. I was thinking if it continues how it's going, if it's keeping up with how it's going right now, it might no, I can't say, but I was like, it's definitely in like the upper half of intervalos thus far. Hey Nikki, welcome. I think we should jump right in. So we're on syncing on purpose, about halfway through. So assuming we're getting the stage 3 of the Morositatis. I never really had to like say them out loud. Icatulum. To be fair, at first I felt that almost every interval has been improved to the previous one. Understandable, and they started high with Hell's Chicken. So I was thinking, I mean, yeah, I think these are like slash, these are definitely like Pierce weak. I think I might, anything with like better ego options. Let's just take a peek. I think might, yeah, do some syncing stuff. Web Corp could be interesting because it will give us this and spread and a big slash, but on her own, I think we should go with Butler for here. Rodeo will handle Pierce. Hell's Chicken's underrated. Yeah, I mean, the farther we get from things, I think things sort of, the hype sort of fades. But I'm still, Hell's Chicken is sort of the standard I want to hold every intervallo to. Hey, my Sydney, welcome. I think we'll start with this, and then if there's, I mean, just speaking of intervals, this already has like a huge boost in gameplay. Although, also, like, technically the last intervallo we played was Miracle, which I think would make every other intervallo, which I don't hate by any stretch of the imagination. I think it would make every other intervallo stand out.
피를 머금을 시간이네.
Next up is Goulet, gluttony. Roots of plants dig through the dirt in search of nutrients. What distinguishes them is, however, that they are not satisfied with satiation alone. The roots continue to grow, seeking increasingly greater supplies of nutrients. Hang on a minute, what's this? Heathcliff, after flipping through a few more pages ahead, looked up at Hohenheim and shouted. Yeah, I thought we were doing thinking. Are we really going to do this song and dance for each? Oh, okay, this is what you're complaining about. For each and every one of these Pecatulum, why don't we lump them together like how you paired up us sinners? Ha, I'm running low on patience already. Only simpletons would make such a basic suggestion. It's standard protocol in case you weren't aware. I am also unhappy about this process, but sometimes you must swallow our complaints and do as we're told for the sake of proper test results. You make a valid proposition. What? Very well. I also fail to see the necessity in fighting these Pecatula one by one. especially given the busy schedule ahead of us. Your suggestion is accepted, assistant. What? Really? Oh, I can't wait. Hong-kun will have fun with this one. Good Heathcliff content. Are you the one who suggested it? If we didn't have to fight them one by one anyway, then why didn't we do this from the start? Because testing them one by one yields a more accurate result. Studies suggest that the margin of error may grow by 0.06% when testing multiple entities at once. I see. But I say the benefits of a smaller margin of error outweighs the convenience of lumping them all together. Why don't we proceed as planned? Boy, I'll just let it go, yeah? Yeah, Otis, come on. This very carelessness is why. I think we can risk a 0.06 greater margin of error, right? I mean, it depends on the study. Indeed. It is sometimes necessary to prioritize efficiency over the pursuit of perfection. I'll abide by the executive manager's judgment. Very well. Then allow me to explain Peccatula morositatis gloom as well. Have you ever immersed yourself in deep waters? Quite easy to sink to the depths, no? However, the deeper one sinks, the harder does it become to rise again. The pressure suffocates you from all directions, no matter how much you thrash around, desperately looking for something to grab onto. All you find is futility, such as gloom. I suppose one of the few benefits of working for this company is that its constant motion gives no time for such emotions to drag us down, especially now that I have some level of confidence that they might actually keep their end of the contract. Oh, sounds like a disagreement's brewing. Even after I've joined the bus team, I still feel like I'm floundering deep in some ditch, you know? But I'm only here because I want to be here, but still. Are you sure you're in that ditch by choice? Oh, ouch. Maybe you just don't know how to rise to the surface again. Don't appreciate that hearing that from someone who doesn't know what I'm talking about. Well, it's all ready now. In you go. You too, assistant. You're exempt from the tests. Me too? Perfect timing. We've been getting a bit tired of all this mental exercise. Right then, let's wrap this up quick. The Guardian of Dandelions. Hi, Helem. Hi, Sidera. Hi, Katia. Welcome. Okay. Let's... Yeah, what are these? Okay, so they're on you. Turn in at 1 stack, inflict damage equal to this unit's current HP against the enemy with the least HP, and die. Hi Dan, welcome, it's okay. So right, we want to defeat the enemies before they self-detonate. Hold on, at 1 stack, inflict damage equal to this unit's current HP against the enemy. Okay, definitely kill them fast. Turn 1, gain 1 heal boost every 2 turns. Turn up, gain 1 damage up and 1 clash power up for every 10 HP healed. Okay. Yeah, this is definitely... Let's... do the Pierce weak ones. We wanna just get the... Just get 1 coffin first. The slash here. Actually... Hey Abby, welcome! Swap. Okay. Like there, we're going against the sinking ones. Are you prepared to really see something? There you go.
추잡하네.
유라니아,
Okay.
죽도록 달릴 시간이다.
Okay, son. Welcome.
고귀하게.
야! 무차 잠들어.
기대받지 않은 것들은
Okay.
모조리 치워버린다.
It's the bigger ones. You start with 3. Okay, I see. So that is their count. And again, still the 1 perpetuating. Okay. Let's... Sure, let's just keep the cycle going. These ones, I think... So they're more dangerous. Okay, all good for... Everyone's generally good for SP.
일단과 많이 손끝이라도 대려는 자가 있다니.
SP a bit too high here. Oh, still got the... I'll go here. Nice one.
정리하겠습니다. 불결한 것.
추잡하네.
Good job.
나서도록 할까?
2, 9, 41. Okay, might as well get these skills in. Have them used. Favored. Just in case, let's do that one. I don't know why, I like the Gloom a lot, Pikachu a lot. I like them because they're light blue. It's like, let me bounce the volume a little better. There. I don't know if I had to pick a fit. I would maybe pick them. There's still that original like concept art way back with Dawn with one of the Wrath ones. That's always been cute.
고귀하게.
Oh, Sea Angels, that's a good point.
불청객은 찌그러져 있도록.
비명을 질러라.
이번에 네 피분수.
Don't. Really, let's. I don't want to waste that. Let me make it through that power counter. And then we have nice amount of coffins for next turn.
일단과 만인에게 손끝이라도 대려는 자가 있다니.
비명을 질러라.
Feels like overkill there.
기대받지 않은 것들은
Okay, what's the big one?
모조리 치워버린다.
유라니아,
Oh,
죽도록 달릴 시간이다.
I love that. Let me in. Okay, what do you have? Decay, collision, collision. Wow, if target is 5 plus sinking, coin power plus 1, unbreakable. Okay, unbreakable. Torrent, if the target is sinking, base power, inflict, sinking, Oh, against 2 random targets. Oh, but that's not unbreakable. Cascading Gloom. Point power for every 3 sinking on target. It has like a... I like the Veil interpretation. I had to say it has an orb. Orb! The skill gains attack weight +1 for every 5 sinking on the target. Inflict sinking, sinking count. Next coin power +1 for every 3 sinking. Oh, sinking deluge. On hit, but on hit without cracking. Sinking deluge. Oh, this silly Billy. And an evade. Scary. If target is less than 0 SP, coin power +1. If target has 10 plus sinking, okay, someone's gonna wanna get rid of that sin resistance. Unless this unit is staggered or part broken, take 80% less sinking damage, that's fine. We're not actually trying to build up the sinking too much. Hi, Too Lazy, welcome! Yeah, no worries, I wouldn't want anybody to spoil things. But thanks for dropping by. Infectious Gloom. Inflict 5 sinking against all enemies except for the one with the most SP. After attack, if the enemy is defeated, all enemies lose 10 SP, then inflict 3 sinking. 2 plus sinking count against all enemies. Okay. Notice you're on offset duty. You are weak to Gloom. We're both weak to Gloom. You resist Pierce. This might be up to you. Take the... for now. You take... this one. I mean, we could throw in Ego somewhere if we wanted to, but... Okay, resist slash. This Pierce. Ineffective to everything? Okay. But envy and something else. See, we can all, let's just spread the damage a bit. Rawr. That's not... We're almost at next level Blooming Thorn. Notice this will still be your job if we can get the offsets. I mean, might as well. How's the clashing? It's okay. Okay. Oh, pretty good, Heath. Almost at the stagger. There we go. Now everybody's favorite animation.
자, 테디. 나를 따라해 보는 거야. 짜잔.
I'll move. Nice finisher. Yeah, he's kind of carried that. Rudy was pretty good, too. As long as Otis was not dead weight or anything. Oh, bye. Okay. Oh, dulled harpoon. I like the sound of that. Do not take 10 plus hits during this encounter for each identity. Oh, okay. The blunt. But no extra big one. And who do we have? Oh, okay, that's a combo. Who do we want here? We could actually, does anybody... Aha. We'll bring... We'll see how Chief Butler works.
지정 보호 구역에 주인놈 뜻에 따라 준비 완료.
And looks like we can still... what's my manager level? I just got a level up actually. I think it's 90 or 91. 91. 91. Now, let me find you again. I have people... You go. I feel like 91 isn't huge for like day one. I feel like it's about average from what I've seen. Where'd you go? Come back! I really wish the support function worked better at this for like finding. There we go.
목표 위치로 돌격 중.
There's people on like my friend list that are like level 120. Well, they weren't too much trouble. Next up, you two, get in there. Yeah, 115. With Ryoshu? Let's do this, I guess. ST. Is it tight? What? He wants to switch. Oh no. Really? Now? What's your problem this time, Ryoshu? Your dulled harpoon doesn't interest me. It's dulled so much that I doubt it can even impale that sickly nerd over there. Oh, you're gonna... I guess if you rile her up... I don't think she'll have too much trouble impaling Hohenheim. I'd much rather watch that blood fiend fight again. Now speakest of me, that's... 'tis quite the pickle. Boy, she wants to switch teams. Is that alright? Of course not. You heard the man. Let's go. I'll admit that my harpoon's not as sharp as it used to be, and I'll admit that I've lost a bit of my edge since then. We're all sailing on the same boat. I'm not going to hold you or anyone else back. I'm always ready to go back to razor sharpness when the need arises. I'm swapping you out as soon as you start making a fool of yourself. Lass, I thought I'd been clear enough on this. Switching teams ain't a thing. Peccatulum superbiae. Pride. Hohenheim droned on, as if the bickering sinners didn't exist in his world. Wheels. Symbol of technology and the vector of humanity's ultimate pursuit. The wheel, in its boundless pride, goes on in search of the perfect circle. Something unconquered by even nature. Okay. I mean, some of these I sort of understood, like why Sloth was a rock, but it is nice to see. I don't think I ever got the... Never really understood why Pride was a wheel. or what really the lust one is meant to be. Yet, it remains uncaring for the fresh flesh it rends, nor the grass it tramples in its path. Isn't that just confidence, not pride? You can't get anything done by just sitting idly in place. One might even say that pride is but another name for overconfidence. It oft claims trailblazers are those who have never tasted failure. Someone like you, Hohenheim? Well, that certainly is a perspective. Next up is luxurier, lust. Moving on just like that, huh? The meaning of peccatulum luxuriae, lust, not exactly what it says on the tin. A more illustrative description would say that it is... yes, an obsession to spread a fragment of what forms the self. Desire to propagate, to breed. Of course, there's more to this concept than just that. While the word itself may be subject to interpretations limited to the carnal understanding. To share one's knowledge, one's ideas, to invite others into gaining the understanding of a sliver of oneself. To seek to express such things are lust as well. That's a good point to make. Of course, I think I saw that, like, a lot of that misconception with, and it's good to, like, clarify how it differs from greed as well, that, like, the lust, that's why, like, does Faust have it as well? But the lust for knowledge also counts, it's not just the carnal desire, as he was saying. Not bad. I always appreciate these discussions with the learned. There's never any dead air. No. Admit it, Heathcliff. Oh, that flew right over your head, didn't it? Why even ask? Unnecessary. Shut up and get in there. Hey! Let's get us started. Yeah. Double checking. Start the poise game up. And then Ishmael. That, and I want to get our SP up before we use that one. We want to check out the new... Oh, I forgot to check what these do. We want to check out the new ego, if we can. Oh, filthy casual. Sorry, that's a setting I have on. It's just for... Ooh. That's one hit. Oh no, Ishmael! Your harpoon! It's a setting I have on just for a bit of safety. Thank you for understanding. 2 out of 10, okay. But now... ready for payback. Okay, mostly just... pride. Fine by me.
전투응대에 나선다. 대검 방어. 대검의 머리가 쪼개지진 않아.
How's that for a dull harpoon? Okay, we'll wait till the next phase. rid of some of these. Let Ryoshu take them though. Actually, gotta make sure these ones you go down as well.
전투 응대에 나선다.
Ah, one more. Oh, only 2 waves, that's okay.
위험인물 발견.
Okay,
꿈을
here we go.
꾸러가도록.
Forgot, there's funny looking. Okay, wound. On hit, inflict 2 additional bleed count or 2 additional bleed or 1 additional bleed count. And gasping breath. When gaining poise, gain 3 additional poise or plus 2 additional poise count. Okay. And not great given this is resonance based, but I just want to I want to see it. Actually use it. It's better against you. And you take one of these. Okay, hold on. Make sure I'm getting all these. Not a great option, but sure. Take that one. Okay. There we go.
위험인물 발견.
Oh.
제압할게요.
Okay. Whoa, it worked.
원망도 뮤침도 소용이 없었으니 그저 무언가를 잡으려 애썼을 뿐.
Oh, that was 57. It's not terrible for... We've seen worse. So we haven't seen Dawn. Haven't seen Isang.
최선의 방어를.
Okay, at least we... Okay, we can get this off. And 2... Okay.
위험인물 발견. 제압할게요. 꿈을 꾸러 가도록. 꿈을 꾸러
Thanks,
가도록.
Ryoshu.
대검의 머리가 쪼개지진 않았을 텐데.
Okay, well done.
전투 응대는 성공적이었다. 나쁘지 않은 움직임이었어. 이제 다른 쪽 집안일로 돌아가지.
Okay, stingy. Oh! Oh, this must be each unit defeats a Pekatulum that has taken their shape once. This must be an NB. Okay, yeah, you two. I mean, we could go all in bleed.
책임은 모두
소재가 준비됐어?
What ego are you missing out? I mean, that's... Be nice to get, like, Sunshower, Merkala. That's like most ego. A bit polyphrase, but I mean, at least that's what I assume. We're gonna go into the NV1s, and these two each have to defeat one that... Dawn has to defeat one that's in Dawn's shape, and Isan has to defeat one in his shape. Is my guess. Let's try this, even if we're light on ego.
이거 참 설레는구려.
Barely. Now is the time for young Yusong and I to face the test. The nature of our trial should take form as Pekatula and Vidier. I assume that we all have a first-hand experience with static shocks. Oh? Doth static shock have aught to do with envy? Anyone who's been subject to both static shock and the envy of others must know that the latter stings in the same manner as the former does. I ill comprehend thine explanations. I see. To explain it in plainer example, Miss Don Quixote, you have always been fond of and held greatest respect for the illustrious color fixers. Am I correct? Verily, I should be second to none were my passion for them to be measured. Now, imagine yourself at a convention of sorts. And we have a convention event in which the said illustrious color fixers are holding an event to disseminate their autographs. And imagine that you are part of the excited queue. Oh, indeed, I've mentally placed myself there. Proceed. Yet, in great misfortune, the event comes to a close, mere moments before you were to receive your autograph. Alack for woe! Fate playeth such cruel jest on my pitiful soul. Now do imagine, what sort of emotion would you feel for the fellow fan who received the final autograph immediately before you were to receive yours, ere the chance was robbed? Well, it would be quite the jealousy burning within mine heart, a painfully tingling sensation in my... Oh! You certainly enjoy explaining things, don't you? Those all scholars are kindred spirits after all. You two, quit the chinwag and get in there. Verily, then onward to a new adventure. And then I shall follow. Oh, the fix... Please, fix our convention event. So fast! Oh, so let's see, 102, so one... Do you have to be mindful? Oh yeah, this might be a problem if we can't ego, but we do have Durante. Work on... Want to get them... not all on Dawn here. Ouch. Okay. Yeah, the high base rolls are a little rough here. Just gonna leap in with... What? Anything? Just straight up damage dealt plus 15 damage taken. The idea of Regulus having to sign Road to Solar. Exactly! Autograph time. You're weak. Well, it's only one coin. This is rough with the speed. I just have to go for it. Let's see how this goes. No good double weakness here. Let's see what happens. Oh, I missed. What else is coming? Ooh. We helped it do less damage. Let's give that. Let's try that again.
최악이요. 소재는
I don't think it's a bad option. We just have to hope for better
이거 참
speed to not be
설레는구려.
such a problem. I mean, yeah, we don't have to use manager. Thought the blade combo might be fun, but we fought. Okay, you're at 7. Let's see what we can match. Neutral. Oh, meat dawn. Let's see. Just gonna have to take some of these. Yeah, I can think of a lot of I think a lot of things are viable. This is where, like, the Limbus gameplay is a little frustrating, because the first time can be a pain. But I can see warp working alright. It would give you an evade. Maybe take that one. You do resist Pierce, so let's just let you take this and... Come on, let's try and get the stagger.
점 찍었네.
Just have to hope for the rolls to come through. There's a stagger. Okay. That's another stagger. Are you gonna kill him? Okay, that worked. Everyone, partner up. And then I assume next one should be warp.
완성되었나?
Yep, okay. Ooh. That's the problem. That's the problem. And anything? Oh yeah, you won't have the charge. You're gonna be fine. You do resist the pierce, but if you get the gloom, you're very fast. Hope you can do that one. We do have the slight sanity advantage here. They are win rating. We do want to be careful. We do need to be careful because once they start getting their charge up,
점 찍었네.
it will be a problem.
엎드리도록.
Dawn wasn't using her skill too. I mean, this Dawn, Warp Dawn, so. I just saw it rip space, and my instincts went. That is something to be feared.
합격점. 완성되었나?
Island.
점 찍었네.
I mean, funny if they just gave Warp IDs 10 charges from the get-go. I was kind of expecting that. I feel like something to do, especially because they were just talking about Envy being like electricity, like.
걸작을
Okay.
자았나? 마에스트로님이 어떤 평가를
Almost
내려주실지
balanced.
흥분이 가시지 않는구려.
So just do well on your first turn. The price of curiosity. Okay. Oh, with that. One sec. Oh, just one. I was about to say something. No, I was thinking of on the last railway. It was the NV, the big NV one was scary. It was the scariest one. I mean, maybe not the scariest, but just the one that took the most resets. And then they brought out Ego that you never realized was as scary as it was. Like, oh, this sun shower. I just realized, why is it so hard to beat? That's why I wouldn't be surprised if they just threw out like extra charge at the beginning. Hey. The assortment of top tier IDs. That's what I was trying to remember what the station was named. This, yeah, that. Okay. What? How should we? I don't know what we're in for, so. Why are you on my sinking team? Don't know what we're in for. We're kinda, I mean, thematically, we might stick with the things thematically. Already said, no, I want a leveled one. Yeah, level 50. Let's. I mean, it depends if this is gonna require like a full team and what she's weak to. Thinking works well. What could go wrong? Let's see how well she burns. Otherwise, I think sinking would be a bit more... Sinking might actually be better, but... Well, let's try the burn.
발목 잡지 않도록 최선을 다할게요.
Oh. Oh no. The foundation that led to this disaster was laid by none other than Nisan, whose only sin was making an innocent, tragically casual comment. Sometime after we ran our final tests. Please vacate the room, people. Cleanup coming through. Apologies. This Don Quixote is ought to. Pity, avail me but a moment. The shoelaces upon Rocinante have come undone. What? How? I remember tying like 7 different knots on your Oh! That's so cute! That's so cute! Yeah, because Ishmael's a sailor, she would know all the special knots. I want this fan art! I want the fan art of Ishmael tying Don shoes. Why did chat turn into Bubsy? Ah, yet to quite the hideous accessory voiced upon Rocinante. I've tied one of them once again in the shape of a ribbon. Yeah, the knots didn't look that great. Ribbons are cute. Oh boy. Yeah, one must begin to wonder about the consequences of Miss Don Quixote freeing her feet from Rocinante at her present state. Whatever art thou suggesting? Rocinante is none other than my eternal steed, bound to me by fate itself. None shall ever dare sever the bond betwixt us. It was a query posed towards Miss Faust, yet I appreciate your answer all the same. And Faust's reply was what set fire upon the rather combustible foundation. I cannot know. Cannot know. That's classified. Huh? Cannot know. What? An obvious outcome, given that no relevant data has ever been collected. Well then, no time like the present to get collecting, huh? Good thing we're in the lab too. Where else are we gonna get another chance to do that? This course of action is highly inadvisable. Yeah, it sounds like a bad time to me. I heard all kinds of horrible stuff happened on that train the moment her shoes came off. Sure did. But that's... It was but an independent decision called by Rocinante itself due to certain extreme circumstances that had naught to do with mine will. Well, you know, potato potato. I was already quite aware that the core of that individual may well lie in her pair of running shoes. Fie on thee, thou shan't treat a person like I some useless shell. Wolfie slipped her shoes off and on again really quickly. I'm sorry. I can't read this. Okay. The standards here at the LCE department demand precise measurements. In other words, these tests would be meaningless if all we were measuring is a hollow shell. A hollow shell! You have indulged your predictable provocations enough, Hohenheim. It seems necessary to remind you that you have not yet received the full report of what transpired during that incident. In other words, you are risking the occurrence of an unexpected event. You concern yourself unnecessarily. The construction of my laboratory boasts a rather solid build. Not even abnormalities on the more powerful side of things can puncture holes in its walls. Oh, very well. I'll not force your hand. However, due to your unwillingness, I am behooved to record as such in my research journal. Due to the concerned sinner's utterly terrified reactions at the prospect of having to remove her shoes, I must unfortunately leave only a half-complete test result here. literally terrified. Terrified. And for your information, those research reports are stored for at least a decade. Yeah, you'll have possession of a full record of your plain cowardice for at least 10 years. Outcome, NA. Reason, subject was too scared to participate. After much contemplation, I've come to conclude that dearest Rocinante deserveth a moment of respite as well. And I, Don Quixote, shall demonstrate before thee that Don Quixote is still Don Quixote in her core still, without Rocinante's assistance. Are you sure this is a good idea, Faust? Hohenheim, if your employment at Limbus Company ever comes to a unilateral termination, I suppose the cause will be rather apparent. Your irresponsible level of curiosity. Not a good idea, got it. That'd be my greatest honor as a researcher. Hey, if anything ever goes wrong, Isang will be ready to slip those shoes right back onto your feet at moment's notice, Kay? Oh no. I'm just gonna explode. From the sheer spiritual pressure. Hold on, I need a drink. He'll be in the splash zone. This is not the pentasection zone. I shall be on the ready. Behold me not with such excessive anticipation all. There shan't be any new revelations here. Don Quixote begins to untie her shoes, seething. This 7-layered knot poseth quite the difficulty, young Ishmael. Wherefore hast thou tied these cords with such unwavering tightness? I was hoping they'd be the last knot those shoelaces would ever tie. Of course. There we go. Rest thee well, Rocinante. Where I... The sinners and I were all quite nervous, but none of us stepped forward to stop this experiment. Why didn't we stop this? Was it because we thought we knew removing Rocinante doesn't necessarily mean she'll be losing control? Because we saw its effects on the warp train and at La Mancha Land? Or was it because we assumed that Rocinante was now just a disguise? Now that Don Quixote has accepted her past as Sancho, removing it wouldn't affect her psyche at all. At all? Whichever was the case, it was a mistake to ignore that nagging feeling. These researchers don't know what facing Don Quixote, Sancho, the second kindred, is like. We do. Mother. Oh, Mother. Our existence is death and perpetuity. Complete us. Fill our hunger. We pray unto you. Fill us with the blood of humans. With the blood of humans. The teeming, shouting voices suddenly began to echo in my head. They're the voices of all the children he had embraced. Or perhaps this was the blood fiend's instinct given voice, imprinted upon them at the moment of their birth. Proliferate this disease, embrace this unending hunger for blood, and propagate the family. So many voices, so much yearning, so much desire. Every single kindred that has ever existed in the past kneels before Don Quixote. Oh, dearest Mother, as your children, when shall we be permitted to quench this thirst for blood? I must drink blood. I have to drink all the blood. All the blood that the family deserved to drink. I must. Dante, wake up. Isn't this a lot like the last time at that building when the fire on their head suddenly exploded? Gotta get a hold of myself. Thirst. My body can't even feel thirsty. This doesn't make any sense. I'm okay. I'm okay now. What did you see, Dante? If we want to bring Don Quixote back, we're going to need to quench her thirst somehow. We need something to say to the combined thirst, the desire of every single kindred. That's not good. Do you keep any blood in here? Let's at least try to quench what's... yeah, we have some blood samples if you need them. Darn it, have you been listening to what the executive manager's been saying? It's the combined thirst of every single kindred. A few blood samples aren't going to do anything. So, you're going to sit here and do nothing? Isn't this just a matter of getting her shoes back on? Right, he's hung. Shoes, get those shoes back on her feet. I cannot. A bizarre wall of pressure surrounds her. This is one luxury cig. Good flavor. I bought those luxury cigarettes with our last bonus pay. His readings are incredible. So much power. Even in a state that is, for all intents and purposes, complete emaciation. What, you egged her on knowing this would happen? Many outcomes in mind. Some are quite similar to this, but this is beyond even the most extreme of my predictions. Oh, you're so calm about this. We've got to do something. You haven't even seen how hard the last hits. What would be the use of panicking now? If the outcome does not align with the predictions, the first course of action should be to analyze the given data. However, it doesn't seem like our containment measures will be the answer here. Thus, the task of stopping her seems to fall straight onto all of you. Time for us to pay the price of curiosity. Sarvitas, thank you! Thank you very much for the super chat! I just wanted to finish the cutscene first. Okay! So I'd say this disproves the theory that Sancho would be Ace in the hole. Very much so, this is a way to do it. Yearning for blood. Straight up hard blood. Well, here we go. It was good to, yeah, it's good to have this. Literally just Sancho again. Sprite is a wee bit different, I'd say. Topple, yeah, hard blood stuff. Don't let this hit. I mean, in a way, she's still, I mean, she's a ace in the hole as long as she's directed at somebody else. Attempts more damage for every bleed on the target, more damage for hard blood, consume, blood feast, heal, 45 SP, if there's enough blood feast, gain 20 bleed, gain shield, inflict 10 bleed. This is target is defeated, increase blood feast by the target's max HP. On hit without cracking, 10 plus bleed, 3 plus bleed, plus 3 bleed, 5 bleed, 3 bleed. Earning combat start gain, you're earning foot blood. Thanks for that. Blood feast. If this unit is on the field or is one of the units that can appear on the stage, increase blood feast value. Yep, blood feast stuff. My siblings call to me. Okay, so getting stronger. This unit. Oh, David, thank you. Thank you, thank you. Thank you very much. I super appreciate that. Let's see if I can actually do this. I don't know if burn is the right option here. More hard blood. They care about lift panic, recover from panic. Oh, thank you. Have an okay time at work. Bleed, attack power up, damage up, fix panic, sanity, reawakening joy of carnage, offense level up, SP heal, efficiency. She's gonna get... okay. Who can take this right at the beginning? Will anybody resist like Pearson? Hey Rhodey, you might be tanking here. You know what, maybe sinking would be... maybe sinking would be the option, because then we have a good evade. Well, let's give it one turn, and then... let's give it one turn, and then if we're getting it, if it's not working, I'll switch to sinking, because then at least we can have Ishmael's evade help out. House is just gonna explode anyway. Anyway, have fun, guys.
순식간에 끝내죠.
Oh yeah, look at that.
일발 장전.
Ouch. Oh, she's voiced too. Hmm. With attack weight. Although I ended up doing this with rerolling for El Merso's skill 3 turn 1. Certainly an option. Struggling. Wonder... neutral. Oh, hi David. I'm sorry. Remember that my wisdom... feeling this from Tomato Angus, but this feeling is not permanent, and you're not having as bad a day as all of these sinners. I find often those bad moods, just getting some space in between them really helps. Tomorrow is another day.
당신의 판단을 따를게요.
3 damage, not too bad. Now, how bad is this? Okay, just about, but... Oh, nice, Rhodia. Although everyone's gonna explode from bleed any minute. There's a stagger.
낙이 새겨드리죠. 자!
Ouch! This is incredible. Okay. Don't think I'm gonna go for burn right at the beginning.
일부 홍염살의 파손율 70%. 더 이상의 실험 속기는 불가능합니다.
Let's see. You need your levels. Oh, it seems like there's lots of options. Do you have a Blood Fiend team? I do. Oh, hi, McRae Dog. Rather
그러신다면 언제든.
that. I'm just thinking. Oh yeah. Poise with full stop does sound fun. I'm just drinking tea. My Frey dog wants to give moral support. Oh, please don't crash VSeeFace like you did before. No, shh. I don't want to try sinking. There's some nice backups.
자, 해골 바가지랑 거미. 불청객을 맞이할
Let's
시간이다.
grab a Otis. And make sure you're leveled again now that we actually need these. $9, $49, $50, $49. Oh, you also need levels. Let's see. Oh, and Faust. Definitely want that healing.
기다려라, 겉에.
I mean, getting
곧
a
먹이를 먹여주지.
thanks. Float sack right from the beginning would be if it can beat it. You do all the daily excavations. I do one every day. I do one experience and sometimes the 3 thread. It depends. Not on Fox Day though. Can Neutral. So would be nice to get like our SP up. Lipsack's not the answer. What do we have going on? Who can... The neutrals line? Probably. 47. Neutral, please. Is anybody... Nobody can really take both. So what's the roll on 26 there? It's her 51, 51, 52, 53. If Ishmael trying to evade it, that's always... Always a good option. We love the Ishmael evade tech. One, sure.
겁나라. 내게 바쳐주지.
Faust is the one that won. Okie dokie. Do you want to try again? Ouch on. I mean, because at least we'll get the protection up if we do fluid sac. How are we doing with some of these other ones? That one's AoE, I'm afraid I know. I mean, just to help the start of the fight. Might as well. Struggling. Favored, okay. Yeah, evades they do, the main person that's evading gets to evade. Let's bleed. This is also partially for the protection here. I love the... I mean, it makes it sort of harder to read, but the effect where they... Okay, better. Where she doesn't, like, get pushed back. I'll tell you how to tie your shoelaces. Protection.
이 전투는 승리할 거예요.
SP healing.
듀라니아.
25 times 7. Well, I got her SP down. got a wolfie. here we go. Now Honglu's up. Oh, reader, it's sundering. Oh. Red blood. Bit of fragile.
어두운 무지를 열어줬지.
I think one thing that would be really nice is still status with that cleanse. Almost at a stagger bar. Okay. 5 times. Okay, just about surviving. We can throw out another fluid sac on the. Time comes. Oh wait, we're too slow. Hold on. Maybe take that one. How close are we? Yeah, not quite enough. 2 going to Heathcliff. Okay, hold on. Bunch going to Heathcliff. Maybe status cleanse could be nuts as Durante power. Oh, that would be. If it. Maybe the most. It would, for him, it would be the most fitting. I could see it going to Hesed as well. He's got healing bullets. Okay, I'm gonna. Okay, sure. Someone's gonna take some stuff. If we get this stagger. Not like that extra bleed count though.
어두운 무지를 열어줬지라.
꿈과 함께 사라져라. 여기가 뱃속이군.
Like nervous watching this. Okay, next turn stagger then. Okay. One sec. Red dog getting down. Now's the time. Wow, okay. 25 times 2. We just. I think we'll save that. It would be nice. Favored. Just unoppose them. We'll hope we can. Yeah, she's at 3 speed. Stagger her before this. I'm doing one-sided, probably. I'm just nervous though. How far is she? Oh yeah, we're very close. Yeah, yeah, might as well. Unless... Let me just double check these. These don't have a... Make sure these don't have like some clause. Goes off anyway. Yeah, I don't think... I was realizing I don't think I've seen... What did I click? Oh yeah, click the bar itself. Tiger 1, 240. Yeah, we're like... 16 away.
겁나래. 내게 받쳐주지. 왜 안에 갇혀 죽어라.
Thank you.
편히 쉬시게.
Get a bit of bonus here.
이 전투는 승리할 거예요.
Man, this is so interesting. Because again, I think it's been like everyone's #1 question is how this. How much? 400. Try and not get too close. Yeah, we don't have great skills anyway, so we're... I would love to see Zhao at some point. I would love to see Zhao at some point, but yes, one, please no more locking to Valpurgis. Burn particularly. Still feels too early. Okay.
이쪽으로.
I mean, honestly, I'd like to... Oh, here we go. Okay. Oh dear. Okay. It is very normal to hope for a Zhao ID. I would like to... Personally, I'd like to see her. I want to see what she's doing now. Okay, the fight... Actually... I thought that fight might turn out to be a slog if they're doing all of it. That's not... It's definitely... My feeling for that fight is definitely... It's one of those first turn... First turn is essential. I must to be the mother to all of them. Family's thirst, it's... No, my lady. You needn't be the mother of anyone here. Here. You're a sinner. Nothing more. That's a great line. Oh! Yeah, if there's some really important lines, can't we have them voiced? I will not place the blame of this incident on anyone, Dante. I understand that no one could have expected this outcome. given the dearth of intelligence regarding the binding tool the first kindred had gifted to the third sinner. Well then. I hadn't had that much first-hand experience with watching Virgilius fight, but this was certainly the most exhausted I've seen him after a fight. I decided to say nothing and turn the clock. After some time passed. Don Quixote, what happened? Did you lose consciousness? Or did something affect your memory? Manager Esquire, my memories were fine. But I heard something as soon as I removed my shoes. Voices, right? Once again, you have witnessed me. Yes, the voices. So many voices. Voices? The voices of my family. But the blood fiends of La Mancha Land are all... Sinclair trailed off. Every single blood fiend left inside La Mancha Land was killed when the amusement park collapsed. In other words, most of Don Quixote's lower kindreds were dead. That is... Indeed, that is correct. I cannot explain how. The only way I might explain this is... that it was as though my very blood remembered them still. I recognized some of them, and some were voices of those I once deeply cared for. It seems that I was, against my own desire, made to ascend to my father's seat. Perhaps I always was, ever since then. The heir of Don Quixote. Now struck not only by my own thirst, but the combined thirst of every single one of the children. Thirst. Indeed, I'm also bound by that thirst. It's only natural, as I am a blood fiend. Thus, the pressure of it all broke my hold of my sanity, and... I hurt you all, as Don Quixote the blood fiend, higher kindred, not as Don Quixote, sinner and your friend. Don Quixote, this isn't your fault, it's... No, such words are now meaningless. She looked down at her pair of shoes, their strings again neatly tied. The higher office will now be regularly supplying you with artificial blood packs. Hohenheim approached us after spending a while vigorously scribbling something in his notes. The blood substitute will be very similar to real blood in terms of composition. I won't have any issue with supply. I don't suppose you actually believe that mere willpower will be enough to withstand this urge. I've done quite well suppressing it thus far. Indeed. That was precisely the wick attached to the ticking time bomb within the LCB. Must I remind you that the soundness of this limiter of yours is quite tenuous, as today's events have demonstrated. Is it your implication that the purpose of conducting this reckless experiment was to determine the full extent of the latent danger? I don't know, it seemed like he was in it only to sate his curiosity. Call it merely the auspice of opportune convenience. This risk factor had to be measured sooner or later. Had I known the full extent of the danger she posed, I would have immediately requested a forceful summoning of your department. Of course, as large as this void of unknown was, we were able to fill it with much new information. Certain analyses can be drawn by comparing the reports regarding blood fiends in this very experiment. Let us discuss the thirst you experience first, for example, the combined desire of every lower kindred. Indeed, it is true. The Manchegan kindreds have been completely eradicated due to events at La Mancha Land. You still hear the voices of your children, yes? What are you trying to say? I aim to discuss the powerful binding force contained within blood. LCD's cooperative report explains that blood is not merely a carrier of nutrients, but something more. It contains abstract values as well. Love this whole concept. I sent in a complaint. The report was far too vague in its wording, and we received a reply their on-site investigative reasoning team leader spat out, the contents of which were equally fascinating. This desire of their kind, this thirst, is something that may as well be imbued and imprinted on the familiar bloodline, and only the weight of that thirst is far too heavy for any individual to bear, which is why they propagate, to bear the unbearable burden together. But considering that all that desire is now focused onto an individual on account of the extinction of her entire family line, it's easy to see why her hold to sanity was so easily broken, no matter the strength of her will. She alone was made to bear that responsibility, the pressure, the duty, having to raise the family once again. It's like such a good... Oh, it's so no, because yeah, like we were saying, this is a great explanation for it, but there's real weight to it. Why she's not the ace in the hole. And because and it's not impossible to overcome. But she can still have the cool moment where she does handle it later on. I mean, they're phrasing it like it is, but for a cool moment. It can happen. And because none of those needs are currently met, there comes the endlessly exacerbating thirst, and more thirst. I play Library Ruin it. Yes! You can see an entire playthrough on my channel, and mods. I played it during early access. It's quite fascinating to see how your kind preserves these very abstract values in the physical form of blood. The mere words thirst does quite the insufficient job of describing the intensity with which you have lost control. This was my oversight, I must admit. I do respect your efforts to be liberated from your nature, I truly do. I also maintain that it is highly advisable for you to regularly consume the provided blood packs. Understood. But one day, I wish to dismount from Rocinante and walk bare feet and feel the earth under my own skin. I was able to establish one positive fact from this exercise, however. I like that. I never really felt like wearing Rocinante was like a rejection of her nature. I saw some people took that as like they interpreted the like ending as she was rejecting her true self in some respects. I didn't agree, but I like it seeing one day she does want to be herself. What might that be? But there are those who would quite literally throw their lives on the line to stop you even if you were to take off your shoes. In other words, I don't believe it to be necessary for other departments to exercise any separate control over you. Well, now that I've had a first-hand account of your conditions, I'll write the following in the report. Still quite unstable, yet with the effort from the subject herself, and efforts from various other environmental factors, this subject has been deemed sufficiently controllable. Once again, I do respect your efforts, or any kind of effort really, because I've never had much use for it myself. Don Quixote took a deep breath, then turned to face the sinners. By then, her eyes had regained their usual, softer look. But sorrow was seeping through the tone of her voice. Despite her theatrical manner of speech returning, her tone reminded me of her time at La Mancha Land. My deepest apologies, dearest friends. Forsooth, I shall ever persevere to see that Rocinante, my shoes, are never to be removed again. Lass, you're looking at it all wrong. You're going to remove those shoes one day, yeah? And that's what you're going to persevere towards. Verily. I think she let out a brief, quiet laughter. Ah, Manager Esquire. Perchance, is there aught that thou concealest from my knowledge? What do you mean? I don't think so. It's no coincidence that, at this very moment, I notice Faust looking in my direction. Ooh. I don't know if I made the right choice here, but... Faust nodded lightly, as though to say that I did. I stopped hesitating, and the tick-tocking noises came to a stop. Very well then. However, I cannot help but admit that I felt some degree of anxiety as I watched Don Quixote walk away as though nothing had happened. Ooh.
한 자루는 죽어 떠난 자에 대한 축하를, 한 자루는 목숨에 묶여 살아갈 자에 대한 엄숙한 애도를. 장르는 이상으로 끝내겠소.
The hierarchy. I think... Was it ever confirmed that Alma is the first kindred, or no? No. Distortion Detective kind of implied that she's newer. She's a weird case, because her whole backstory kind of... Because Distortion Detective also has the people that distort into kindreds, including the person who like didn't even know that he was a kindred. But she also has the whole backstory of Nosferatu. It's weird, but then the discussion with the Elder, they kind of like talk about her making a big mess of everything, not adhering to the rules. Is it Nosfer and Abner? I know it's confused. She has a sort of Project Middle. They posted. I don't know where it is anymore, but they had this sort of backstory for her. I think got taken down at some point, so I don't know. And then there's like her book story. It's been a while. It was all sort of... Yeah, we still have no idea what Nosferatu's connection. But she like worked in a mansion or something. Like personally, I do... I want to say it's headcanon. Or theory, I do lean to more as Hillem says, something like based on the idea. And not can't actually turn people, for instance. It's just, there was that story that sort of talked like she was familiar with, like someone turned into Nosferatu, and she, I don't know, you can find it somewhere. It's one of those sort of unclear things that might have been retconned. The hierarchy, okay. More sip of tea. Some abnormalities are naturally occurring is the problem, so it's hard to... I know, that just kind of like... There was a spanner in... so many things. And when, like, the lore is complex enough that... and it's sort of scattered over multiple sources... I think it can be easy for people to get confused with their own headcanons. I've seen like people post on Reddit like, here's how ego works. And you really have to take those with like, I think some of this is headcanon, and that's fine. That's fine, but be open about it. Yeah, there's so much out there. I don't blame anybody for like not being able to get confused. I can't remember all the backstories from Well, Corp. I can't remember what appears in every book. Well, now that that's over and done with, I would like the sinners to come gather around here. Hohenheim placed the sinners in a single file before him and began. Now, the regular checkup is complete. We finally have enough data to compare your pre-employment statuses to those of your current selves. Which means... Indeed, we're able to measure your pre-employment combat capabilities as well. Oh, and what are your conclusions? Allow me to preface this by saying that there isn't much significance in establishing this particular hierarchy of power on a linear scale. Like I said, you're all equally mediocre at the present anyway, and... That's a good point. I mean, cause like Library of Ruina, I mean all the games sort of establish this sort of power scaling, even if it gets sort of not... Like, Nard, Urban Myth, etc., etc., Star of the City, people sort of take that as gospel when... I don't think they should necessarily be used as a straight up power level. Oh yeah, and linear scales just make everything... shouldn't work like that. I understand why it's like a fun thing to discuss, but... I feel like if it tells a good story, I'm willing to like let things not really make sense. Oh, there's plenty of significance, alright. We've all gotta know who's the big boss. Well, this is but a speculation of the worst case scenario. We must know which one of us has the most right and authority to lead the rest of the sinners, in case our executive manager becomes, due to some unknown yet inexorable circumstances, unavailable. Hey, that's... I don't listen to anyone weaker than I am. What if there's a reason I was the first one? Oh, I can't believe they're pointing this out. What if there's a reason I was the first one asked to introduce himself? There was a burgeoning interest among the sinners to see which of them would be at the apex of the scale, were they to be measured by their strengths prior to their employment. Hey, maybe before I lost my memories, even I... Dante, don't. It is interesting how every collective has a desire to get a clear picture of the pecking order. This is what I'm saying. A negative expression of this desire may even lead to juvenile behaviors among children, for example, stealing their colleagues' lunches for meager reasons such as scoring higher than they did on a test. You're not speaking from personal experience, are ya? Thus, I believe that trying to conceal the outcome of the tests from you would be quite meaningless. Each of your placements in that line you are standing in signifies that very order you were so curious to know. I don't wish to waste any more breath on this subject. It was a long silence. Ah, okay. I can't believe they're just giving it out. I wanted to see the other one though. I'm gonna go back. Let's see, he sung below Sinclair. Ishmael below Heathcliff. Okay. Heathcliff Rodion. Interesting. Honglu, Faust, Marcel, Ryosho. Yeah, and these are on the screen. This is gonna start more arguments, I think. Oh. Ishmael's still #1 in my heart. This has to be the longest, most awkward, most loaded silence I've ever felt in my life. Much did I wish to hold shrouded in my fathoms. Yet I yearn to still convey that we are all more than meets the eye. That there remains a certain abundance within my heart. Perhaps the test of this day paint a picture of both my qualities. Thus spoke I, Isang. Isang. I will place trust in the faith that all of you shall one day sprout wings as I have. Isang, it's the other way around. Oh. Oh no. Ah yes, the line was made from my point of view. From here, the sinner wielding that oversized lance is the one at the front of this line. Oh no. Well, you said some cool words though. We got this right, Isol. I'm happy for Rhodia. I would have felt bad if she was in the lower that low. Well, it's quite the bashful occasion to be at the center of such fervent attention as one such company. I wouldn't say fervent is the right word. Worried, maybe? I shall be vigilant. No one seemed to have any objections or doubts about who the strongest sinner was, given the earlier event. On second thought, it appears that it would be best if we left the command to... Whoa, Ishmael, whoa. To Ishmael, as we have done so... Oh, we have been leaving it to Ishmael. They've done so far. Otis mumbled through gritted teeth. Forsooth, I have an agreement. I'm more partial to roles such as as a defending fixer or squire. It is oft the case that such side characters enjoyed greater popularity since time immemorial. Hi, Evie. I don't know if I can say that Sancho's popularity in popular culture has overtaken Don Quixote himself. Very happy to see this discussion not coming to blows. Now, are we all ready to move on from this? Wait a minute. Are we all forgetting something pretty important? That's just how the world works, Greg. No one remembers anyone between first place and last place. I even forgot my own placement order. No, I mean... Hellas, I wasn't even a part of the list. Oh, were you not? Who cares, mate? There's 12 of us. Some people just fall out of their radar. Big deal. Let's just get on with it. Hey, you can't just regard me like swatting away a fly. I guess somewhere around my level, probably. Or Heathcliff's. Ishmael replied in a voice that had clearly lost all interest in this discussion. You're the sinner with that bizarre insectoid arm. We had no choice but to place you in the least favorite category of all researchers. Wouldn't he be extra interesting? Exceptions. Oh. Ugh. Yeah. 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 Ugh. They really hate that, huh? So they can be outliers and they totally mess everything up. Ruining my model. Exactly! In other words, you are a unique case that cannot be well placed in a list or a scale. To do so would be irresponsible. Literally getting excluded. I'd say you carry a certain potential. That, potential, is it? Does that mean I could also be first place if all goes well? Canonically, potentially. Incredible. Could very well be the reserved given the definition of potential. Okay. But not this query. How are your mind, Gregor? Your day will come. It was funny getting consoled by the guy who placed last. Oh my goodness. Do they know? Ooh, new classification. Finally, new classification codes. I mean, I'm sure after a whole talk about power scaling. I've been looking at this. Oh, okay, I see. That's oh, there's the shoes of Type 5. I mean, they're acknowledging it. I feel like, I mean, one, it's nice to just like get the power scaling out the way. Although I just feel like it's gonna lead to more arguments down the line. Because again, it's power scaling at this point. We know Sinclair is gonna rocket up at some point. Oh, you're right. AJ lurks on the Discord. Forgetting about that. And used memes. I remember that. I was just thinking about that. In power scaling. Yeah, the Merceau is really interesting. Like, you can sort of see it. I mean, it's always sort of been the question is why is Merceau? Why is he's sort of the one where it's most interesting why his canto particularly is so late of all the characters. After some time passed, next we must discuss the classification numbers. We have been assigning risk levels for distortions, just as we have for abnormalities. The observation logs you have written for us were of great help, of course. My researchers struggled to parse the handwriting of certain sinners, however, but it was good data all the same. We once had a 3-hour debate over a letter. Even that bloody governess can't give up trying to fix my handwriting. Heathcliff grinned proudly and wiped the side of his nose. As you must all be well aware, the current system of classification numbers has a rather significant oversight. Because abnormalities were creations of the former L Corp, our classification system had to be lifted whole from their system. However, the criteria by which the former L Corp measured the risk levels was the amount of their energy production. Yes! It was a correlation of sorts. It was often the case that more aggressive abnormalities produced more energy, but their destructive capabilities were not part of the criteria, despite the correlation. That is why certain abnormalities were assigned relatively lower risk levels, despite their potential to kill even multiple higher-ranking employees. They were an energy company at the end of the day. It makes sense that their priority would be to measure the energy output. However, here, both abnormalities and distortions must be suppressed via direct confrontation. Thus, the former L Corp's classification system is rather incongruent with our purposes. I once heard someone say that we should be aware of people who drone on and on in the intro. Thus, it became necessary for us to reorganize the distortions risk level and classification codes. Wow, how interesting! So whose job is that going to be? I'm rather taken aback by the naivety with which you asked me that question. Us. It's us. Sinners without the right to refuse, was it? Wait a sec. Aren't you just offloading your own work onto us? A privilege given to researchers. Oi oi, don't be so ignorant, yeah? This is all just to, in order to research the distortions, right? We gotta... A tiny text, I'm having a drink. Oh wait, finished. The other way around, assistant. Oh, it was a whisper, not the preview of a long paragraph. We've got to do research into distortions in order to solve them better. Elementary. Hohenheim's really got you wrapped around his finger, you know that. According to the LCD on-site investigative reasoning team leader, The progression of a distortion is much like that of a disease. The fate of an abnormality awaits at the end of the distortion phenomenon, after all. When a distortion progresses into an abnormality, all pre-existing individuality is erased, replacing with the totality of an abnormality. A while since this has been discussed. Thus, it is impossible to bring back a distortion that is already transformed into an abnormality and will no longer have that reversibility that they once had in the distortion phase. So, a distortion like that Time Ripper fellow will eventually become an abnormality too, if left untouched? If you're referring to the subject H or Hey 7PI 2001, then yes. This is simply a prediction, of course. Because that particular subject isn't contained here, I cannot say with absolute certainty that its progression into an abnormality will be correct assessment. Oh! What have you seen? What have you seen? Oh, didn't Limbus Company collect the Time Ripper? They hoped we would, but T-Corp was very adamant about their claim over the entity, to the point where they refused to even sit at the negotiation table. I found their time-ripping ability quite fascinating, but sometimes I know when to cut my losses, I suppose. Wait, so that Hey something, is that the new classification code format? Indeed. Because it's difficult to identify and observe the origin and shape of a distortion, we decide to forgo that information, instead replace them with their sin affinities. Oh, okay. And the expected damage scale. Sin affinities. Yeah, I must refer to Pigritia, sloth. Can't we call it SL? It appears that the classification now mimics the classification of the Pecatula. They do indeed follow the same thought process. If we're being technical here, I wouldn't say it mimics it. It would be more accurate to say that, as the Pecatula are once the origins of the distortion phenomenon and its byproducts, the affinities can be transferred one-to-one. What's the expected damage scale? Combat capability, I'm guessing. I remember them saying that the risk levels were determined based on the enkephalin production rates. Which is not the most meaningful information to us who had to fight them directly. It was a tad inconvenient to put a nebulous idea like combat capabilities into a singular numerical scale of power. Certain entities have idiosyncrasies and variables that make such a linear measure quite meaningless. Yeah, if they're like a puzzle battle, that's very different from like straight up damage. Instead, we decided to measure the expected amount of damage the Limbus Company personnel might suffer should they engage these entities in battle. While this Time Ripper poses very little threat against the sinners due to your idiosyncrasies, the unique nature of their weapon means they can immediately deal a nigh-fatal blow to anyone from the LCC department with a single strike. That is why this distortion was given a rather high expected damage scale of 6, from a scale of 1 to 10. Please do note that this is not a perfect system, and these values are there only as references. Will the standard be applied to abnormalities as well? We have plans to do so, yes. Risk levels and expected damage scales will be coming before their classification codes. Speaking of which, I have something to show you all. What is it? What else, other than the monolith? One with the highest potential values among Limbus Company's businesses. Thus, the development of transportation management and processing methodologies in the monolith is a glowing achievement indeed. The artifact, by its very nature, poses a great danger. I hesitate to embrace its use so willingly. Great danger? But wouldn't you say we are beset by danger all the times? The arbitrariness in deciding how dangerous something is comes from the degree to which it poses a risk. As you must already know, the monolith here is a device that can force a distortion. It is scattered throughout the city just like the Golden Bough. at first only in possession of the fingers and syndicates of the back streets, to now being collected by companies both large and small and nameless, like a plague. I would rate this a bit higher than Urban Plague. We also learned that they have become rather high priority targets for some wings out there. As luck would have it, we managed to begin our research, expedition, and collection of the monoliths much earlier than the others. Now that we are already at the stage in which we may partake in the processing and sale of these artifacts, expanding our business ventures, you could say that we narrowly avoided the very unsavory fate of having to tussle with the wings for the possession of these artifacts. Because we may have to confront the wings directly in that case. Don't say it so casually. Asking out of pure curiosity here, what would happen if we were ever assigned a city threat level? Ishi, how about we don't ask questions we don't ever want to find out the answers to? I mean, what if we, due to some contractual shenanigans, end up going against the associations? I think it'd be a good thing to know ahead of time, just in case. Are we in more power scaling? Seems like a question worth entertaining to me. Let's see, from Kanar to Star of the City, suppose your assignment will be somewhere between Urban Plague and Urban Nightmare. Oh, not bad. Not bad. Not SOC yet, are we? Star of the City. It almost sounds as if you want to be given a threat level. I mean, I feel like this question has almost been where we are, has been asked even more, because that's sort of how people like talk about what to expect when Valpurgis comes around. But yeah, I would rather us be still on the lower end than higher end. Still feels early for us to really jump ahead. It is true that you, upon first sight, due to your revival powers and the potential of the identity technology, may appear to pose a rather troublesome risk. However, you have a very clear and obvious weakness. Indeed, all of our advantages will be moot upon the manager's death. Hohenheim slowly turns around to look at me, prompting Faust and the other sinners to follow suit. What if we protected them, though? I'm impressed by your optimism, given the kinds of enemies you have faced thus far. We don't even need to go so far back in time to discuss the incidents with the Fixer, Siegfried, or Big Brother, Ricardo. I read from your reports. Should this third sinner suddenly seek to attack the manager with their full might, you truly believe the rest of you would be enough to protect them? No. The flow of this world is that the manager will be preserved, so that no such thing may come to pass. That's enough, Hohenheim. Any further divulgence, and Faust will open a disciplinary committee to discuss the consequences of your careless words. Not there yet, are we? Very well. Whichever is the case, you do have the potential to become a Star of the City threat at some time in the future. Excuse me. I would like to see the Ricardo rematch. But do remember that it would be best if you could avoid that unfortunate designation. And please, don't forget that this is only true so long as you have Limbus Company's backing. Okay, one more. Now I do have a question. Fight or dungeon? Dungeon with a boss, okay. I'm just gonna, give me 2 minutes, I'm just gonna refill my water bottle quickly. I will be right back. Check 1, 2. I'm back. Okay, the final checkup. One more. Now, yes, what team is the question? What team is the question? Could have the good stuff team. I mean, it's sort of burn themed. Sinking's always just a good, nice and safe. And I don't know what we're going against. I assume more Hecatula. Engine boss. We haven't really had a sense unless, I mean, I guess my guess from last episode would be Hohenheim testing us. I mean, I guess we could just do burn and then some extra backup. It is the theme of the canto. Greg, if you want some. I would say the boss is very difficult if you don't bring one of the 2 recommended status teams. For the sake of not making the stream extra long, may I ask what those status teams are? Burn or rupture, okay, we'll do burn. But we'll bring some... We will bring some extra, like, good stuff units in case we have to go to backline. And just double checking everyone's sort of burny-ish. Okay. I'm currently level 45. Who's not? Oh, it's because of you. Okay. Okay.
움직이는 목인자 재밌겠군.
Thank you. I don't mind that just for like the sake of a good, that little spoiler for the sake of like a good stream flow, so I don't have to start from the beginning. We're almost done with the regular checkup. Finally, we have a chance for you to overcome an adversity based on what you have learned thus far. No, I wanted that spoiler for what to use. Don't worry. What we have learned thus far. The strongest is Dawn, but also don't let her out. And for me to prove my hypothesis. What hypothesis is he talking about? No need to worry. My hypotheses have never been wrong. But it's good to have wrong hypotheses. That also teaches you something. This just contributes to the file drawer problem. Most of the time. Okay. This experiment is entirely of my own design and supervision. Oh! Hold on. It's a stray dog. Oh, sorry. One sec. Getting my stray dog. sorry. She's very good at letting me know when she wants to go out, so I should listen to her. Okay. And I will faithfully follow my own cure. Who's that? You're not supposed to come back in straight away. And I'll faithfully follow my own... 1 second, let me find out what she wants. Yeah, she did want to participate. No, she's very good at communicating what she wants. When she needs help, sometimes she actually wanted, her ball was stuck. Like under a radiator. I was just getting that for her. Thought she wanted out, but... Okay, now why are you bringing the... Why are you bringing the monolith out? Is them a stray dog? Guys, I have a feeling we're not gonna like where this goes. Now, do you see this monolith here? Listen, did you get ethics approval for this? I mean, actually, given the city, probably yes, this is fine. Yeah, I do. That's a monolith, all right. But don't worry. Most researchers will be the ones. My researchers will be the one to activate the artifact. Activate the artifact? Not on you. Relax. I understand that none of you would be willing participants to this experiment. I swear, if you're going to force us to distort, saying that we have no right to refuse or something, I bet players would want this. Yeah, hang on. I can't let you do that, even as your assistant. Yes, but if you must, we are willing to send the weakest sinner among us for... Forget I said that. That was foolish of me to say. I will be the subject of the experiment myself. You're going to distort yourself? Am I hearing you right? Aren't you curious to see what kind of distortion you end up becoming? Sure, this is a question you have all entertained at least once. I mean, fair enough. No, I ain't curious. It ain't a very pleasant experience either. I don't even know, Heath. Stop gritting your teeth like that, assistant. It'll have an adverse effect on your long-term dental health. What if you just end up turning into a pecatulum? You could end up becoming a pecatulum, just another one of the fodder we slaughtered our way through for the tests earlier. You're risking that? It is indeed a possibility. Smiling. It would signify nothing more than my very own limitations. Just a mediocre shell. Such an incident comes to pass. These employees will transport me to a containment unit. They even made a bet of what kind of pecatulum I would turn into. Oh, we go. Pride, lust. He bet on Goulet, I on Invidier, and her on Pigrichier. But how could you think about it like this? If I were to become a Pecatula, it would be akin to losing at a game of chance. But as we will find out is Sin Affinity, but like, I wouldn't say this is chance. Of course, what counts as a loss may depend on what I, at that precise time, consider to be losing, but the mere fact of turning into a peccatulum relieves me of any value to life. I'd say he was being too hard on himself, but that felt like too simple an expression to describe his tone. Company would most likely attempt to transport me to a containment unit, but I disagree with that decision. I'd like you to ask of you to dispose of me on the spot. I'm well aware that I'm not the kind of congenial person who earns others' favor at first meeting, if at all. I also don't believe that our brief relationship has been the most amicable kind. Therefore, I see little reason why you would hesitate to cut me down. Of course, sinners with gentle hearts like this young Sinclair here may express a certain distaste against this decision. And once I become a peccatulum, it may as well mean that Hohenheim, the entity, has ceased to be. I hope no unnecessary emotions like guilt clouds your judgment in killing the peccatulum, a mere byproduct. But what if something unexpected happens? We're talking about your life here. Don't you have any manuals with backup plans, or... This is a very simple matter. Nothing more than a coin flip. Heads or tails. Guess one result or another. It appears that you're still It appears that you're still insisting on your absurd 50-50 theory. I'm a researcher who wishes to humiliate the field of mathematical statistics. Unlike the general lay of the academia. What's wrong with stats? I believe there is a certain romanticism to research. It's much more exciting to run as many tests and gain as many samples as we can than to be stuck behind a desk, poring day and night over books and paper, isn't it? I like that part, though. If it's tails, then you may dispose of me immediately, and the employees here will take care of the rest. Don't forget to destroy the key inside that coat pocket, and the files inside my cabinets, for example. Yes, we remember. If I were to successfully distort, we would be halfway to success. For the first time, I'm feeling quite the envy for you all. I wish I could be witness to my very own distortion. You've been paying attention to my lectures. Perhaps you could even come up with a classification code for my distortion too, going by the standards we have discussed earlier. Not that I have a very high expectation that you would. I recently come to a realization that people nodding along to my words is not a signifier of comprehension, but instead an expression of societal niceties. I've been interested. Okay, not. Then the manager here will open the entrance to my dungeon of the fathoms. And you will progress through the mirror dungeon, as you have always done when facing a distortion. Reach into its deepest fathoms to face my distortion once again. I guess we'll get his backstory. I wish you the best of luck in your suppression efforts. Texas section. What happens if you distort wearing an ego suit? Once you've made it that far, it is likely you'll find me unconscious. Or if luck would have it, conscious. I hope he doesn't get shock centipede's passive. Unconscious? Are you sure this is safe? A degree of case-by-case variance is to be expected. It may take some time for a full recovery, but it will happen should you succeed. That reminds me, that's how this bamboo-hatted Kim was brought back as well. Bamboo-hatted Kim, he's recovered? He is safely contained within our facilities. What does that mean? Are you bamboo-hatted Kim? It seems they're ready to activate the monolith. I'm confident that I, even as a distortion, will be quite the exceptional specimen. Hang on, just like that? You're not a peccatulum. Indeed, and I... Okay. I can still hear them. Yes, I remember. I still do. I know he'll be back, but gosh, this is pretty unnerving. Don't worry, we'll bring him back, no matter what. The manager says that we will bring him back, no matter what. Sure sounds like a dependable sort, this manager of yours. Very well. Please take a look at this. Is this a note? Did you write us tips on how to do this or something? He says that all you have to do is read what's on that note in front of his distortion. Apparently it's some kind of a code. I don't think you'll hear anything but ticking noises from me. Can you read this, Meso? It will be done as you commanded. I hope this is like not a Winter Soldier activation code kind of thing. We want the deactivation code. Merceau nodded, then began to read the words from the note aloud. Lobotomy Corporation, 5 minutes. Potentiality, anticipation, right hand. The moment Merceau uttered them, the all too familiar portal began to appear around Hohenheim's distortion, as though they were a key to a door. Scattering shards of familiar yet alien sights appeared intermittently beyond the shimmering veil. Hohenheim had already entered the portal as we stood there gawking. We could still hear his voice echoing through the laboratory. Suppose I'll be forced to share my past here. Past I never wanted to share. Past no one cares to learn about. It is something I must endure for the sake of this experiment. However, I needn't expose every little detail of it. You were an employee, weren't you? Oh, the best theme. On the past now anyway, isn't it? Hello. Okay, let's take a look-see. Oh, so yeah, choice between... plenty of ego gift choices, but let's... Hohenheim's Fathoms. At the starting point of the Dungeon of the Fathoms, we found ourselves in a room that appears to be a workshop of ego gears. If you scored below 100% synchronization rate in the aptitude test, take only a single ego from here. An ominous warning sign greets us all, and the same words repeat ceaselessly from the speaker. The sinners all go to take a look, enticed by the sign telling us that we can pick up ego gears here, but what we find there are ego gifts. Well, these aren't ego gears. These are them gifts or something, right? It appears that ego are manifest here in the shape of ego gifts. Can we just take them all? This is a Dungeon of the Fathoms. As it differs from the usual mirror dungeons, it is highly advisable that its rules are followed. What should we do? Keywordless, Rupture. I think we want Burn. It's been a while since I heard all the neutrals, but yeah, my instinct was neutral 1 there. Doesn't have the extra layers of higher level neutral. Like the Flaming Gauntlet. Fire Fist Office time. This one seems best suited for the situation we're in. We take the Combustion Gloves Ego Gift. Everyone gain 20 burn, turn start. On Clash Win with a base attack skill and fixed burn, or unique burn, inflict 2 burn potency. Okay, lots of burn. If skill has 3+ copies gain 2 additional offense level. Okie dokie. Say what you will about there's no denying Lobotomy Corporation is an incredibly memorable gameplay experience. Exactly. I think it does depend on whether you vibe with Lobotomy Corporation or not. When I was playing it, I was scared because I thought I wouldn't like it because everybody just talks about how difficult it is, but I feel very lucky. I just totally vibed with the experience. I did enjoy it. Level 3.
개체 유형 확인.
Hello, what are you wearing? Elcort branch control team. Okay, yeah, branch. Oh, fuzzy. Meat lantern-esque? Meat lantern aberration? Oh, that's definitely that's a nugget hairstyle. What's going on with them? Good. It appears that I can censor these with my own will, at least to a degree. Oh, Void Dream. Your mission here is to classify my distortion, reach the end of this dungeon of the Fathoms, and bring me back. Your mission, however, does not involve digging into my past. This is... It appears that we have a passing familiarity with this place. You... us. What is it that they seek to convey? I don't believe any level of proper communication will be feasible, given that you are in a dungeon of the Fathoms. Well, then do something about it. I regret to tell you that the setting of this dungeon is out of my hands. Had it been up to me, I would have manifested a place that was much more fascinating than this. Like that library, filled to have every book in existence. You used to work for the Lobotomy Corporation? One of my past careers, yes. Us. Diplomacy did not seem to be an option here. The censored people brandished their weapons threateningly and stood in our path. Looks like we're going to have to take them down if we were to make any progress here. Can't be helped. Let's get ready for a fight. Yeah, let's see what weapons they have. Oh, okay. Fluffy. Censored Lobotomy Corporation. That's a way of... the way of putting it. Let's... Oh, interesting. Oh yeah, rupture. Seems like a meat lantern, maybe aberration, or just a effect of the censored. Thank goodness they're censored, not censored exactly. Rupture, coin power, SP. Okay. Let's eat, maybe. It's your turn now. Coin power, rupture. The meat lantern thing. That's I assume aberration just cause it's not quite and it's purpley. Oh, I like this remix. Guard. Rupture. Teeth, lantern, yeah, okay. Chew, let's eat. It's your turn now, guard. Chew. Limit start, targeted by 2+ units, gain 1 protection class power up, +1 coin boost, okay. Good to know. Censored courage. After attack, the target is either staggered or defeated. Raise this unit's max HP by 10% of max HP at the counter start, max 100%. Censored justice, oh. Turn end. If this unit failed to hit with its attack skills, raid minimax speed, oddly uncanny lantern, gain 1 fragile for every identity tab, target, blah blah blah. Combat start. If all enemies attack this unit, attack weight +1. Ooh. Gain offense level equal to the number of enemies. When this unit heals, heal additional 5 HP. And maddened. Target indiscriminately. Panic. Okay.
순식간에 끝내죠.
Which we can't really control. who we're targeting, but do what we can.
대체 어각 진행하겠습니다. 걷잡을 수 없어.
We do have to keep an eye on keeping Faust healthy in between fights.
이번에야말로 이 싸움
Good job.
끝내주겠어.
순식간에 끝내죠.
망설이면 나아갈 수 없어.
And the two.
괜찮아. 이젠 안 아플 거야.
Okay, now a choice. I tend to go to the ones, or gives me more options. Not that it matters this much here. Looking back on it for Kanto 7 dungeon, I feel really lucky I did okay with the ego gifts, because I know some people had a much harder time. So what they ended up with. We came across a group of researchers passionately poring over various documents. They're having a debate about two subjects, emotions and flame. Regular flames don't seem to hurt abnormalities very much, so why does this work, I wonder? Perhaps a greater degree of wrathful emotions opens up the room for the fire's heat to touch abnormalities and distortions, both entities of the unknown. They must have noticed us listening in to their conversation intently. One of them approaches us with a glint in their eyes. Are you the sample who agreed to this experiment? If so, try this on. In the researcher's hand was what looked like an ignition plug, or a testing machine of sorts. I will take the burn ego gift. Assuming we can... Oh, Ishmael. Oh, what an interesting reaction. Decent synchronization rate as well. Maybe the researcher liked what they saw? After scribbling their observations into various papers, the researcher let Ishmael go. Ishmael took off the gear and presented it before the researcher to return it, but they simply shook their head in response. The gear seems to fit you perfectly. Take it with you. Thank you. You'll get free ignition plug earned. Oh,
이 정도는 쉽죠.
what have we got? Base skills inflict burn count, deal plus 20% more damage, inflict plus 1 burn count. On hit with these skills against enemies with burn. Defense level down. Turn start gain offense level equal to the number of surviving turns. Hey, neat. Again, I'll take the one with more options. Sure.
이거 참 설레는구려.
So, how do we know this guy's actually distorted? He doesn't sound any different from his usual self. I would assume he would have a fun filter over his voice. The sanity degradation due to distortion affects every subject differently. I mean, yeah, but censoring his own fathoms? But, Hohenheim, you're in a dungeon of the fathoms. We will see through it with Dante's powers, whether you want to show us or not. You make a fair assessment. How about this, then? If you are to see them anyway, allow me to save you the trouble and give you a quick rundown instead. Come visit me as soon as you finish watching my tale. This tale began when that man walked into my laboratory. Look at it. Yeah, so I had a personal laboratory all to myself. One of the few perks of being an elite researcher. This guy's just telling the story however he wants to, isn't he? Hello. Elcor Branch Control Team. I'm Mr. Hohenheim. Look at you. Wow. Even just the armbands. Let me think. I don't quite remember what he looked like. Something like this, perhaps? Hello? Whichever is the case. I was planning to censor his appearance anyway. Hey, I want to talk to you about something. Stop. Are you here to express your displeasure with me? The what now? If you are, do let me know from the get-go. I had a feeling it was about time this would happen. 3 months, not a bad record for working without a workplace conflict. Oh, if this is about quitting, then you would find a much better audience among the human resources team. You know what I mean? I'm just here to thank ya for picking me, some dude from the back streets, to work here. I heard it was you who made the hiring decision. I don't know how to put this, but you're the only one who saw my... what's the word? Yeah, my potentiality. You saw someone that no one's cared to look into before, know what I mean? But it had nothing to do with something so grandiose like his potentiality. A wing does not hire people from the back streets for something so insignificant. While this information has never been publicly available, Lobotomy Corporation's primary criterion was trauma. Candidates with horrible, insurmountable trauma were often favored by the company. And, in an indirect way, it was only natural that they would begin to favor candidates who originated from the back streets. Your greetings are acknowledged, Jimmy. Jimmy! Now feel free to leave my office. I ain't Jimmy. Anyways, I've been meaning to ask Mr. Hohenheim, why do you always enjoy being alone? It may come as a surprise to you, but I am very adept at spending time all on my own. It's one of the hundreds of distinguishing features that set me apart from ordinary men. Say, don't you need someone to be like your loyal right-hand man? My right hand is doing just fine, thank you very much. You believe in potentialities, Hohenheim? What an unrelentingly stubborn employee he was, even in hindsight. Thanks to you, I do. And I've been thinking, if I keep at it, one day I might even find myself living at large in a nest, changing my world little by little. Kinda like how a thing like me managed to snag a position here at Lobotomy Corporation. So I'm thinking here, they want to stick around in your circle. Bring about such drastic changes to one life in the realm of feasibility for an exceptional researcher like myself indeed. You are, like most of the rabble, painfully average in most qualities, and therefore unlikely to be a moving voice in that change. I can't quite... He has, does look like... I mean, there's purple here. I mean, those are stripes. So yeah, that's like a different ego. So if he's wearing an ego suit, he's more than a clerk. I have no faith in universal things like potentialities. I have faith in myself and myself alone. Besides, I'm not very partial to mathematical statistics like the probability theory anyway. I'd like to keep both my right and left hands as my own. Have a nice day. Want to know something about me? I'm kind of a guy who doesn't really think about things. Action before deliberation, you get me? thoughtless and carefree. Possibly the only merit to be found in those who originate from the back streets. Was that a thinly veiled threat of physical assault? No, I'm talking about the new Abno that just got shipped here. It's a tricky one to manage, I'll tell you what. It reads your mind, screwing up all kinds of strategies or whatever as long as it's based on hard logic. Want to shoot for the Department of the Year award? Together? Seem to be rather skilled in the art of transactions. One of the few merits found in those who originate from the back streets. I'll admit, suppose I was overcome by a certain ennui back then. But in hindsight, it was foolish of me to engage in such inane conversations. You... well... us. The remnants of my past come to haunt us. Perhaps it is I whom they truly wish to hurt. I mean, it's the Lobotomy Corporation, it was never gonna end well.
이번에야말로 이 싸움을 끝내주겠어.
Can you... Is any different? O3, censored, yeah. We wanna... Okay. Yeah, not doing that yet.
진행하겠습니다.
You wanna heal when you can.
일발장전.
Really have to keep an eye on Faust. I don't know, what's her like average? Because I wasn't using her too much. I want to know what like her average
단번에 끝낸다.
lifetime is.
똑바로 서. 아무 명만도 못한 걸.
Didn't seem huge.
나갈 수 없어.
I guess at least at the end you get a big burst of damage. I haven't got to use that yet. Actually, you're fine.
대체 억압 진행하겠습니다.
격발. 당신과 고통 없어.
Let's have some fun. Fun with that. She dies pretty quick if you use both her skill 1 and skill 2. I was worried. Finally here, the Department of the Year award. Indeed, I've finally done it. With some minor assistance from you, of course, and some other employees. Come on, admit it. Don't you notice that a lot more employees are saying hello, good morning, and what have you to you in the hallways compared to when your reputation was a bit, you know? All just because I'm that good of a right-hand man. I will admit that your intuitive and spontaneous eye was of some assistance when it came to identify certain observations among abnormalities. Oh, I like how this comes back to why you chose Heathcliff. This is the potentiality I was talking about, man. And back to Heathcliff again. The same thing you saw in me when you decided to get me on board. Apologies for ruining the moment, but the next few years quickly and busily flew by without much trouble. Of course, we picked up ourselves a few more Department of the Year awards, some promotions, and also some collaborative researches. Any published papers, conferences? Yet all things must come to an end. The infamous fall of Lobotomy Corporation, for one. Thus. I don't suppose you have any trouble hazarding what they're all telling me, even as the words come out fragmented. You left us. Nothing but words of endless resentment. You left us behind. The fall of the former L Corp. I remember what Miss Yuri told us. The site crumbled in an instant, trapping the employees in there with the abnormalities. What? What's this? Have you not? Oh, it's first. I was wondering if it was like, what's the sound? And like, first warning's diegetic. No, it's the burial procedure. The whole structure is quaking. What the hell is? Initiating site burial in 100 seconds. Any remaining employees must immediately evacuate the structure. Counting down. 95, 94. Our first warning is diegetic. I bet like the music itself, not just the like sound. I assume the trumpets were. I guess I didn't really think about the entire track. The manual's kind of funky because it like talks about like up to 7 trumpets. The escape pods to the surface are here, but there's only 1 seat left. They're saying that the next one's in 5 minutes. I listen closely. At the risk of sounding rather callous, I must inform you that the chance of survival in cases of crises such as this is usually granted only to a very small minority of those affected. Some who prioritize fairness of the process may settle on primitive methods such as drawing lots to see who gets to escape. And in more barbaric groups, the survivor would be decided by none other than the rule of might. However, I'm glad I found myself among those who are on the side of intelligence, so I make this argument, a suggestion before you. Compare yourselves whose sole, final purpose in life is clinging to your mediocre office jobs and making good on your debt payments. And me, who has produced several groundbreaking epochal theses and research results at such an early age, whose life, in your eyes, is of greater worth. Yes, and that is how this tale ends. The compound collapsed 90 seconds later. I left the employees of my department behind and boarded the escape pod elevator and survived. How could you? Without even a hint of remorse. Wrath is a hideous emotion. I am here today only because I have always maintained a cold, rational head. The Elcourt branch within Hohenheim's dungeon of the Fathoms begins to crumble. It almost appeared as though his heart was crumbling as well. Well, now that's over with, I invite you to come face me, the distortion. And the experiment will come to an end. But just finding and defeating his distortion in a fight, and we're only halfway through. I don't think that'll bring him back. I just know it. I agree. We're still in deep waters here. This can't possibly be all there is to it. Let's go lower because then that one leads to this one, which is more burn themed. Maybe not. They see the Fey lantern within the containment unit. A cyan-hued fairy flutters toward the wiry ancient branches of the tree and softly lands on one of them. The branch seating the fairy sways, as though to entice us to get closer to them. Bright, countless yellow eyes glimmer from the shadows beneath the roots. What a beautiful specimen, this Fey lantern. Have you finished your observations? We've been learning a lot about the abnormality recently. There's still a lot of unknowns, but still. Speaking of which, here's a pop quiz. What ego gift can you get from the Fey lantern? Midwinter Nightmare. What's concavity? I don't even remember that. This isn't really a fight I tend to take because it's a pain. Cabby doesn't exist as an ego gift. That makes sense. It's like the right answer. I was like... I mean, when they added new ones for the fights, I was like, I don't... Maybe I just never saw this one. I'm not super completionist with Mirror Dungeon. Right on the money. You know your Fey Lantern. But that's not all. Recently it's been giving out these things too. Take this with you. I'm just glad to have run into a kindred soul. You receive a bony twig. It seems to have come directly from the Fey Lantern itself. Yeah, I was wondering what like Martin was holding. Twigs. It's called twigs. It's not gonna do much for us, but... Rupture. Okay. Hohenheim's Fathoms.
어머, 부탁드려요.
Like, I noticed Martin was holding a twig. Okay, that makes sense. I was like, is that too simple for an ego gift? Let's see. Not unopposed. 3, not best speed rolls. 3, 1, okay. Let's maybe hold off. Just a turn, is it just one wave? Okay. I love this track. Sinclair, do you want to just take... you're weak to that. The 10 is the LF Federation of Fairy Festival. Right, yeah. I hope. I really like to see Titania someday. Might not be in the cards though. I just like the fairies. Oberon would be cool.
이번에야말로 이 싸움을 끝내주겠어.
Get the kill there. Maybe we'll... Everyone there. Ishmael, do you wanna... There.
당신의 판단을 따를게요.
확인.
Fairy's got a lot of content in them. I know, I'm so happy. I said that way back when. Oh, Sinclair. Maybe Burn will. Said it way back when. I like the fairies, and I was rewarded. Don't do that, just in case.
벌써 부서졌나? 쓸모가 없고.
Oh, Letitia Aberration. Letitia would be just a good solid. Valpurgis, I would say. Let's go this way for the. That's the more boring-oriented one. Love Letitia's weapon, the cool rifle. That would be a good Valpurgis, cause like not like popular abnormality, but not too strong. I'm gonna throw out a guess for next. It might be early, but I mean reduced for like the first set to be rotated in again. So like Faust. Faust gets an ego. was thinking about. I mean, there's a lot that. Yeah, and then if we do them both, I don't know if they necessarily mix Merceau in there and give them a suit as well. What would Merceau fit? I mean, we're really due for... Hold on, I wanna look something. I just wanna check something. One sec. We're really due for floor of art. Would any of these? Child of the Galaxy. Merceau. Anyway, I want to throw out a guess for Alriu and Faust. I think at least the implied story fits really well. Let's throw out a heel. Oh, Pode! I'm still sort of unsure whether Pode can happen, just given the sort of ambiguity with Donor Abnos, but I want to see it. I think Alrian would fit Faust very well, both like thematically and design-wise. Yeah, Steam Machine and Backwards Clock, that's the sort of wiggle room. Blade Lineage event. Yeah, I mean, they did say it's open to give IDs. They did sort of introduce an abnormality or something in that dungeon, although I think this would be the time to give Heathcliff and Ishmael their Kurokumo identities.
이 싸움을 끝내주겠어.
Ooh, as blunt. A life for a daredevil. I feel like Red Riding Hood for Ishmael and Big Bad Wolf for Heathcliff would be too easy, but I know. I don't care if it's too easy. I'll take that after I was robbed of Butterfly, Ishmael. Who needs it? I've been really tuning out there.
조심 1번.
We could have an April Fool's event this year.
이젠 안 아플 거야. 상태 붕괴 확인. 안심이다. 고통은 없어. 벌써 부서졌나?
I mean, with Mirror Worlds, there's so much room to explore. To use April Fools for. I was mentioning Mahoyaku, Promise of Wizard, a few times because the anime is running, but they have my favorite April Fools events because they basically dedicate their entire actual event for April to an entire AU. The first one was kind of silly, it was like high school Human World AU. But then, since then, they're like, okay, instead of fancy, let's just do an entirely different cyberpunk AU, kind of. With androids and everything. And all the character dynamics are going to be different. And let's just explore these characters in this other setting. There's no magic. Then there's Pirate AU, Yokai AU. I think the last one was Mafia AU. So that's sort of the bar I hold, because of course you can do... There's always room for the silly April Fool's events, but I actually much prefer this than to be treated a little bit seriously like that. April Fool's basically does let us... I mean, with this universe, we could get the gender bend episode, or the high school AU episode. Several messy, frantic letters are carved into the wall with knives. I can practically feel the sheer horror and desperation of their writers from their wild letters. Upon close inspection, the deep marks tell a tale written in terror. They're swarming us, the monsters. I hear them. They're breathing. They're all going to kill us. Save me, please, someone. Anyone save me. I don't want to die, please. Here's what drives men to madness. The men are near. I can feel the rumble of their feet. They are coming. There are unfinished sentences written on the wall. Death has carved deep marks between them. Let's look around some more. Just checking, we don't have... Go ahead, Faust. Noticing something, Faust points to an area on the wall. There's a small crack between the countless scribbles of letters. I carefully reach my hand into the opening and... Aha! I can feel the tip of my fingers brushing against a card. Someone must have hidden it in there. This might come in handy later. Oh, well, he's healed back to full HP, thank you! EO gift, Operation Authorization card, earned.
실험 성공. 예상대로의 결과네요.
As expected. What do we have? During the encounter, when an ally retreats or is defeated, randomly apply 3 offense level up between all identities next turn, 2 times per turn. When 3+ allies are defeated, randomly apply 6 offense level up between all identities at turn start instead. I want to... turn start... I would like to see if we can get it off. I do want to see Faust's special skill. Turn start, 3 allies with the lowest SP heals 15, 10, and 5 SP each. Does not stack. The numbers apply in the ascending order. Blah, blah, blah. Does not activate if the affected units are panicked or corroded. Okay, Hohenheim. What you got? Little epilepsy warning. Oh, good. Thank you. Yes, important for anybody. For everybody. I'm just gonna... Just in case, let me... in that temporarily. Thank you for bringing that up. And we'll stick with this.
어머, 부탁드려요.
Oh yeah, I can see. We arrived at the entrance to Hohenheim's laboratory. This may be my final order to you. Either suppress me and return safe and sound to where you came from, or fail the suppression, place me in a containment unit, and perhaps we can observe what happens next. That's when Heathcliff suddenly strode forward. Hohenheim, you still believe in that potentiality? I do. It's what keeps me going. You only hire researchers from the back streets, don't you? I heard from it earlier. They told me that you're a right pompous bloke, but thanks to you, they can continue to research and believe that there might be things in the world that's worth working toward. Incredible. I was kind of hoping we get a bit more Gregor, but maybe that's for the sweeper. Sweeper. Hello. Oh, you do have a really cool design.
이 싸움을 끝내주겠어.
Started Hohenheim, you have poise? Undefined, undefined. We'll have observation logs. Compression. Final power +1 for every 5 poisons. Oh, interesting. Poison tremor. Inflict 2 tremor potency, inflict 3 tremor potency, and 2+ tremor count. I like this. Final power +1 for every 3 poise potency on self. Dismantle. Oh, you got an I-beam? Inflict 3 tremor potency, hit after clash win, 3 tremor count, and trigger tremor burst, reduce target's tremor by 1. Contemplation. Final power +1 for every... Final power +1 for poise potency on self max 5. Oh, interesting. Gain 4 poise potency. If this unit has shield stuff. Oh, cool detail for this backdrop. If you pan camera up, you can see Hohenheim observing. Oh, let's check out that. Oh, cool. Hello. Oh, that's cool. And I like the sort of like handprints all on the windows there. Like, let us in. Okay. Observation. Turn 1, apply 1 subjective observation on all enemies, then gain poise potency and count equal to the number of units with subjective observation. This max stack 30. Gain 3, turn start, gain 3 stacks starting from the turn after this unit gain this effect. Gain 1 stack every time this unit takes or deals damage with an attack skill effect against a starred Hohenheim. Take plus stack times 4% more damage from enemies. Deal plus stack times 2% more damage, but on hit take, okay, of the damage dealt as HP damage cannot be staggered from this effect. But the extreme remix of neutral, I like it. My confession is I'm not a big fan of the remixes in Ruina. Or of the trumpets specifically. Just double checking. Gain 1 stack, deals damage, and then take more damage, but also deal more damage, but then take damage. Okay. Apply 1 subjective observation against targets without subjective observation. For every 10 subjective observation on the target, inflict +1 more tremor potency and count with this unit's skills. Establish hypothesis. On turn 3, gains a new pattern and prepares to use a powerful skill. After turn 3 is over, the above effect activates when this unit has 30 plus poise count at turn end. If this unit did not take any HP damage during the preparation period before using the power skill, greatly enhance the skill. Does not count damage taken by a shield HP. Okay, so burn through that shield. Perhaps even literally. Adaptation. Gain 1 poise potency every time this unit inflicts damage with attack skill effects. 15 per turn. If the target has 15 plus subjective observation, gain 1 additional poise potency with every hit. I remember looking up what the composer of like Neutral and Trumpet was doing a few years ago, and the composer had like Bandor or Bang Dream remixes, which as a Bandori fan was fun to see. Gain +1 poise count every time this unit takes damage from enemy's attack skills. If target has 15, gain 1 additional poise. Defense mechanism. Gain shield equal to 30% of mistake HP. Shield HP cannot exceed 50% of max HP. If this unit is burn... Oh! Yeah, okay, I see. I do feel... I mean, it's not a very long dungeon, and particularly if you just, like, skip the story, but I do always feel bad about these ones where if you don't take the right team. Turn in. If the shield gained by this effect is destroyed for the rest of the encounter, gain 1 defense level down. For every instance of the shield has been destroyed, 5. Confirmation vibes. Turn in. Siphon 10 SP from targets with higher SP than this unit, max 3. In descending order of SP, cannot stack the same target. Does not activate if Hohenheim is panicked. That's incredible. Panic recovery, fix panic. Yeah, what you have? Anguish. Low morale, fragile, and SP heal efficiency down. Okay. We get some Wrath resonance already. Just get in there. Well... maybe let's hold off. How do you feel about winning? Wait till we're ready to use Faust. Explode Faust, I should say. Let's see if we can figure out weaknesses.
해체 억압 진행하겠습니다.
Okay, how fast is Faust gonna explode here? This will be interesting.
일발장전.
The only thing I do wish just now I had Otis's ego, but that's okay. Oh, cool effect. Okay, there's shield 27. And what's new? Okay, there's the red coin. Conduct analysis. At 10 plus poise potency, consume poise potency to gain plus 2 final power for every 3 poise potency. Okay. We have 616. Unbreakable coin. If the target is 5 plus tremor count, trigger tremor burst, then reduce target's tremor by 1. Hit after clash, inflict 5 tremor potency and 3 plus tremor count. Trigger tremor burst twice, then reduce target's tremor count by 2. Oh, it's such a cool effect. And did we find any? Oh yeah. I assume maybe gluttony and wrath. I did say normal, that's fine. I want to save that. I think we'll just leave that. Don't want to lose these skills. But yeah, definitely be careful. Let the tremor build up. There goes the shield. I don't know if everybody is into it, but I also just love making fun, both like the love and making fun of researchers. Oh yeah, it's the Nemo special. Yeah. The whole like portal effect is interesting too. And now 3 contemplations. How much? Where's that at? 600. Okay. I think we'll just... Faust, you're doing okay, so why don't we just go in with our... Oh, come back round. Now let's hold off. 141. Rather clash with that.
한 번에 끝낸다.
이 경적 속에서
Thanks, Sinclair.
타올라라.
걷잡을 수 없어.
Hey guys, I heard an assistant for Sebastian has opened up. As a grad student, I appreciated those Simpsons clips. Okay, here we go. Let's actually see it properly. Don't make fun of them, Bart. They just made poor life decisions. Trigger extinction sequence. Consume half of poise potency on self. Gain. Sum of consumed poise potency and count. Divide by 2. Final power. Max 20. Don't trust the roll. I can see. Some deal % more damage. Yeah. More damage on critical hit, max 100%, reduce remaining poise count by half, unbreakable coin. If user took no damage last turn, guarantee a crit. If user took HP damage last turn, does not crit, instead deal 80% less damage. Trigger tremor burst thrice, then reduce target's tremor by 3. I was like, too bad we don't have the NB for Force Math. Ardor Blossom Star, excuse me, is a very safe high roller. How much is... Might, just to be safe. Let's get some envy. And how... yeah, Otis SP is fine.
조심 1번. 이 불 또한 예술의 방울 경치.
이래선 걱정만 끼치게 되는
Yep, so we got a stagger. Was that Sinclair? What plagues your mind, manager? Your suppression efforts seem to be smooth sailing. Exactly as you have seen, manager. Save for a few parts that were censored. I've concealed nothing more from your view. I love that. I don't believe I've committed any wrong by escaping that place alone, leaving the others to be buried there. Of course, it may be reprehensible from a moral standpoint, but why would anyone ever look at it from that perspective, manager? Especially when you're well aware that, in the city, such a perspective is entirely irrelevant and worthless. I can feel his gaze on me. Like you said, the suppression is going well. This feels wrong, but it shouldn't end like this. What should I tell him? What is Hohenheim trying to hide from us? Oh, interesting. What if you do feel what you did was wrong? You're running away from something. There's another side to the story that you told me. Ooh. I like this. Very like this I think would help with depending what team you brought. This is his unique mechanic. You get unique flavor text and each passive changes depending on your choice. This is cool. Let's do the SP. Faust relayed my words to Hohenheim. Another side to my story, is it? Indeed, indeed. That is quite feasible. You are correct. There is another side. That another side is what often gets lost in the process of obsessing over specious concepts like the fathoms and the heart. Speaking from a consequential point of view, perspective provided by one's memory is narrow by nature. Even in the fathoms, the deepest part of one's heart, where many believe lies nothing empirical absolute truth, we are still capable of lying. Fascinating, isn't it? They call it metacognitive error. Some call it unconscious bias as well. I see. You argued that the story I've shown you was simply a fabrication. I wouldn't say it was entirely. Indeed, I've not shared any perspectives from my employees. But there's no way by which we may verify them anyway. Isn't it obvious why that is? They're all buried underground, grieved even of their final words. I could finally understand, at least to a degree, what Virgilius and Don Quixote had been telling me. Though there was nothing to call a human face remaining in its distorted form, I think I caught a glimpse of loneliness from Hohenheim's expression. It's become so passive, it's become self-doubt. Lose 15 SP, siphon 5 SP from targets with higher, cannot stack, do not activate. Cool! I like that. Okay. Pretty much ready to stagger. Faust, how are you doing? Ooh. Let's... Okay. Who wants... Okay. One sec, let me just get everybody on something. Do we have enough speed? Sure. Yeah, I think you'll be okay.
당신의 판단을 따를게요.
Burn at the end is gonna do some work. That would've been cool if we got the stagger there. Oh, it's so close. Okay.
순식간에 끝내죠.
Everyone in.
수 없어.
That was cool, though I definitely get the feeling it would be unfair to go into that without the right teams. The escape pods to the surface are here, but there's only one seat left. They're saying that the next one's in 5 minutes. Look, I don't actually believe you hired me because you saw my potential or something. But I want to believe that you found the hope and potentialities because of me. A hope and anticipation that we can make things better. As long as we keep at it. Can't leave you all behind. I can't just save my skin without everyone. This is what a right-hand man does, isn't it? Take my potentiality you found and rise. Take it with you to the surface. But you, Johann, what about you? Well, maybe next time. Some other time. Wrath is a hideous emotion. That's why I did nothing at the entrance of that branch. Only remembering nothing more. Remembering the ones I've left behind. I can sense the dungeon of the Fathom slowly beginning to close. Fingers. Sometime later. Now I've returned, safe and sound. Welcome back, boss. To be frank, I once wished to be someone like yourself, Heathcliff. What are you talking about? We don't want Heathcliff to be like Heathcliff. Because it's not easy to put my faith not in games of numbers, but in those slimmest potentialities of the world and continue to exist. I know it's not very befitting of a researcher to be so, but it is quite the romantic attitude for a human to embody, is it not? Well, experiment is over. It was a huge success, all thanks to us, right? No, it was a failure. I had established this hypothesis that the sole answer was to hold a firm belief in the self and nothing else. Had my hypothesis had been correct, I would have remained a distortion. Thus, I would like to extend my gratitude to all of you. Thank you for making me fail. Names of the classification for my distortion was Hey 5SU. Are we saying Sue or SU? Herbier. Disappointingly mediocre, but I don't suppose it can be helped. Or maybe just say Superbia, yeah. Use. So I was just thinking about, because we would say, even though we have Hey, we would say like, Aleph, for instance, entirely out loud, Vav. The world is a place where we must find the ray of potentiality among the mediocre, after all. Let us move on now. Mephistopheles is prepared to depart. Hohenheim's researchers waved at us. We'll meet again, right? Ew, no thank you. Everything has an end, so do consider this to be our final meeting. Down to the last exchange, the sky. The last thing we saw before the portal activated were the LCE researchers pushing up their glasses in our general direction. While I'd only taken a step or two, the entire world around us seemed to transform, landing us back inside the transportation instrument. Now that I think about it, we didn't even get to learn why Gregor's bones made those cracking noises. All we learned from this experience is that the sinners have all become mediocre, but they each held certain potentialities within themselves. Each of us mulling over the events at the LCE, we returned to the bus where Karen and Virgilius are waiting for us. They are all potential men.
확실한 승리였어요. 돌아가면 저번처럼 홈파티라도 할까요?
I didn't get to see a Faust use her skill. Can I... Oh, are you... Here we go. Here we go. Thank you.
아, 그대. 잠시 쉬고 가지 않겠나? 그리고 온 김에 이 실험 결과 정리를 도와주게. 끝내기 전까지는 돌아갈 수 없으니 도망은 포기하시고.
Thank you. Okay. Most importantly, I must gain a unit. Oh yeah, I think I heard something about that. Increases after losing a clash based on clash count. Increasing sanity. Base value is 10, raised by 10% per clash count after 1. Increased by 5 after this unit. Defeats an enemy regardless of their level. After losing a clash, decreases after winning a clash based on the clash count. You have this negative coin skill. Interesting. Everyone is potential man. it's an important. It's funny. I mean, I like how kind of memey it is within the community, but it is an important thing to, like, remember for all of the sinners. Nobody's like fully unlocked their potential. Truly is a potential man. I mean, 16. Look at base power. Base power, okay. Interesting. Okay. I mean, although, given for Rupture Team who you're competing with, everybody has potential. Nobody's got an ego. Everybody's gonna have their story come back around again. I do feel sorry. I feel like Ishmael and Heathcliff. I guess Rhodia. It depends how her arc goes, but are probably like the most normal sinners. I mean, it depends how Rhodia's arc goes. Heathcliff we know has like wild stuff going on with Wild Hunt. Ishmael. I mean, I'm assuming everybody's gonna get their big moments again. Although I feel like they were tough on her a lot, even after the great accomplishment of slaying a calamity. It turned out the calamity was nerfed. Also, believe it or not, the Yisong ID is actually quite good, but W-Song is better, and Rupture already has amazing tanks. Overall, really like that interval. It did a lot. I mean, huge lore dumps. Great characterization for everybody. I mean, the Don Quixote, the Sancho thing coming out in the middle was... It's funny, somebody was mentioning in chat yesterday, like, having trouble with the Sancho fight, but I just assumed they were talking about, Canto 7. It didn't even occur to me. Didn't even consider it spoilers. But... nice crumbs for everything. Nice crumbs for, like, lore. Great characterization, particularly... Like, everybody got a little bit there. Good gameplay. Oh. Grab these. Definitely my favorite interval. I had to sit on it. Great game, like having the more like challenge fights. My favorite kind of thing. Oh, but Hohenheim, pretty good. My curiosity is definitely like peaked about, because like I know he's a character from Faust source material, but as I said, I'm reading Dream of the Red Chamber. That's not for a while, so I have no clue if there's like interesting hints there. But if it's also a way of like getting, because I was saying with Dream of the Red Chamber, there's so many characters that I think have interesting potential that I wouldn't mind if they just didn't introduce a chunk of them. Thank you, JT. Limbus company. What I was saying with... Well, I know a lot of Honglu family characters all appearing make it seems like not all of them are good terms. One of them isn't from Oh, I thought I heard something about that. When he was being introduced, I thought he was a Faust character. Because there's so many characters, I was like... One, I just don't want it to be Carnage. Oh, he was a real doctor in the Renaissance. I just feel like I remember reading comments like that. Sorry for my incorrectness there. They said I haven't gotten to that. I know it was like an alchemist or something. I haven't read Faust 2. But Dream of the Red Chamber, I was like, just don't have everyone. I don't want to, like, there's so many interesting characters. Like, have it left open. So they can appear later. Like, I want, like Canto 4, where we have, like, the League of Nine, but then most of them don't even appear, so they can appear later. I wondered if... Let me look up Hohenheim. Paracetamol. Chemistry and medicine. Medical beliefs, toxicology. Where did I get that he was in Faust? I just feel like I saw someone comment that and I just assumed. I'm just looking at the Wikipedia page. Huh, okay. Well, I kept waiting for that to, like, come up as something. Okay. Back to OBS. I think he's attributed the first of the term homunculus. Oh, okay, that makes sense. That's probably what I was misreading when people were referring to it. Thank you for the correction. Important to know. That was like, I don't mind, like, if there were to be characters introduced early. I think it's important given cast sizes, possibly. I always need to sit on them a little bit, but I would, but thinking about like where things would land on the tier list, I feel pretty certain that this would land above Warp. But I have to sit on it whether it like overtakes the others. So wait and think about it. Oh, thank you, Existential Still. Yeah, I'll be finishing up in just a moment, so the VOD will be up. Oh, let me get these. Love the lore, love that. Love this, like the story. Hohenheim was fun. He played a good role for what was needed in this. And I do want to hope that maybe Sweeper, maybe the Sweeper Intervallo will be a nice setup. Oh look! It's Hohenheim. Maybe Gregor will have a bit more in the next one. Did you spark Carmen in the level slot? Oh, where? Oh, all right. Is that Carmen? I wasn't sure. I thought because this was around where Dawn was, this was sort of like Sancho had a sort of similar silhouette. But like that's the cape, but I could see this also having Carmen's posture. It's not quite the same like Dawn having the hunched over. Obviously like the music. Always nice to see like callbacks to the very direct callbacks even to the Vomi Corporation. If you're gonna introduce like the concept like branches, I just want to see it explored and everything. But yeah, we'll come back to like more discussions when the time comes. I do want to do like the tier list stream when the time comes. So what's after this? I guess we're Fraction Railway. Fraction Railway, Yield My Flesh, then the next Intervallo, I think. I don't tend to stream Refraction Railway, but we'll see, particularly given that this one is meant to be a loopy one again. I was still one up by was it Mobius? When that one came out, I remember going to bed later and looking at, I wasn't streaming or anything, and then coming back to it and seeing people that had like 8-9 hour streams to complete Mobius, and I was like, good thing I didn't. But we'll see what comes up. And I like to have a plan for what I want to do. With Refraction Railway, but it's always good to have like a piece of content to like check in within everything in between. But it's been a really great last couple of weeks. Just like well before I get into this. It'll be interesting to see the discussions coming up after this, because I want to know what are people still arguing about power level even as it gets definitively put out there, even though, as you said, I don't think linear scales. So that's why I don't even like tier lists. Too linear, too binary. Don't even necessarily work. Our scalers terrify me. I understand why it's fun. And like some people like really care about their favorites being the strongest. Hi my very old man. No worries. I'm probably gonna finish up in a minute though. I get why it's fun, but also like my general, as I said, my general vibe is like I'm okay to like break power scaling if it makes for a good story. Hongsky, no worries. I'll finish up in just a moment and then the VOD will be here. Yeah, it's just... But if like... I don't know. Even if like it might not make sense for a power scaling moment, if like Isan lands a cool blow on Don Quixote and it makes... For narrative reasons, it's a very important moment. I'm okay with that. For Gilead, it's like... You can have... For Gilead, it's still sort of mysterious how powerful he is, but... I don't mind him losing at some point if the sinners can come in and stuff. Rule of cool, that's... yeah. I'm okay with a certain amount of flexibility. And like the way it was sort of set up in Ruina, I think is also leaves you like people take like the fact that we do certain fights at like Starve the City level very seriously as like that's the power level when Zhao was like very clearly on a very different level than poor Dong Huan, the Grade 1 fixer. I hope he comes back someday. Wanna know what that was about. Thanks for the bleed passives. Though we don't really need bleed being saved anymore. Okay everyone, remember not to send Faust wearing the Ardor Blossom Star Ego into Snow Queen's containment unit. Very important. And thank you all so much for joining me. I really appreciate it. I love getting to have these discussions with everyone. Everyone's always so kind and open to have these things. I hope you all have a good rest of the week. I might I have quite a lot to do next week, so I might have no streams next week, but I'll probably put a post up or something. Again, thank you all so much. I love getting to share this story with everyone and getting to see everybody so excited at the same time. It's such a lovely time. Right, so everybody have a good rest of your week, and the next week if I don't see you, I'll see you sometime otherwise. Okay, bye bye.